Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy. It's Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I am back. It is the finale of What If Isagi had Ultra Instinct. And if you enjoyed the series so far, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. And I don't think I got much else to say. I think that's really it. Shout out to Noxtratu, technically, I guess, but I know him as Emerus. Shout out to Emerus for the thumbnail again. I appreciate that. And the someone else will have made a different thumbnail for, or Emmett will have made a different thumbnail for the next video, which is the movie version of this. So if y'all want to watch the whole series again, you can do that. With that said, I'm not going to waste that much more of your time, and let's get right into where we left off, and it leads off with Isagi making his choice. Let's get it. Isagi has a choice. Does he want to take on the challenge of Rin, the number 2 in Blue Lock in technicality at this moment, or does he want to take on Nagi's team? Nagi's overwhelming want to actually take on Isagi once again is kind of insane. Isagi didn't expect this. Yes, he knew Nagi wanted to be by his side and learn and also develop and grow as a team, but the fact that he wants to take him on here and now is kind of insane. He wants to do it really badly. Rin, on the other hand, wants to prove his worth. It seems like Rin has a massive chip on his shoulder, but Isagi feels obligated to take on Nagi, Chiguri, and Ryo. He's not 100% sure why, but he'll take them on. So it's a 3v3. Bachira, Isagi, and Kunigami versus Nagi, Chiguri, and Ryo. In terms of matchups, I'll be honest, Ryo is kind of out of his own league. In terms of speed, Chiguri is definitely an issue, but Isagi already has his eyes set on one thing and one thing only, and that's guarding Chiguri. And everyone is confused, why not guard Nagi? Nagi is definitely dynamic, but Isagi says that Chiguri's speed is going to be too much for anybody else to handle, and that he'll be able to react to it better than anyone else. And he tells Kunigami that he can show everyone here that he's a superhero for a reason, the superhero of football, by taking on Nagi, the prodigy. And Isagi seems like he's setting Nagi up for something that even they don't realize. He's setting Nagi up to get better, but at the same time setting Kunigami up to get better as well. And in this match, that's exactly what would happen. In the battle between Kunigami and Nagi, it's not a chess match. It's a match of just who can evolve quicker. It's a game to 5, so there's limited time, but still, there's an amazing thing happening here. Isagi would shut down Chiguri, and Ryo would begin second-guessing himself to the max. We're talking about he doesn't understand or know where to aim, where to shoot. Should he go here, there, anywhere? He's not sure. He has no idea at all. He's really confused, to be honest. He's not 100% sure how he wants to take certain shots and doesn't know when to pass or where to pass and how he should do this or that. And those hesitations would lead to a Bachira steal and an early goal from the Madman. And he would score pretty easily, and Bachira would tell Ryo that it's really unbecoming of him. He should just be having fun. Why is he worrying so much? Ryo would look around, looking at Nagi and also Chiguri, who are having their own battles, but it seems like Nagi is putting himself in better positions than Chiguri currently is, going against someone that is reacting to every movement he ever does. Yes, he can try to outrun him, but it seems that Isagi has everything predicted. That 1-0 would turn on its head relatively quick. Ryo would try to force a pass down to Nagi, and this pass would be huge. It would be a great pass, don't get me wrong, And Nagi would go up and control it like an insane person. He would control it in a way that nobody would even expect, but Kunigami would be all over it. He might be able to control the ball, but they're too far for him to score the ball. So he knows that as long as he uses his body type and his ability to defend in this regard, once he gets past, or once he's able to steal the ball from Nagi, everything else goes out the window. Once Nagi gets to the ground, he tries to control it and more or less maneuver around Kunigami, trying to do some spectacular movement, kicking the ball around Kunigami, allowing him to get it to his other foot. But as he does this, out of nowhere, Bachira would be right there, stealing the ball from him. Everyone is kind of shocked, but Isagi's not even one bit. He knew Bachira was going to do this. Yes, Bachira is unpredictable, but Isagi is able to predict him because of how long he's been around him. Bachira is being a factor, and a major one at that. And it's all because Rayo is outclassed by a mile. Nagi believes that he'll have to step his game up even further. There's no way he's going to allow it to be this easy. Now they're down 2-0. The ball is now in Nagi's hands to start, or by Nagi's feet, I guess, technically. And he would begin bolting off toward Kunigami. He would begin to try and maneuver and dodge, and he would realize something. This field, I mean, it's so fun. He hasn't had so much fun in his life. I mean, what is this? I mean, it's truly amazing. Nagi doesn't know how to even react to this. He doesn't know how to even think. I mean, football's always been kind of a thing for him. But he's in love with it now. Isagi has brought that out of him. As he thinks this, Kunigami comes to defend him. Kunigami cuts him off right at the peak of where he's going. But it's as if Nagi's foot, one of Nagi's feet, just reacts on its own, tapping the ball, going in between Kunigami's legs. Nagi is now moving in a way that Isagi has no idea how he's doing. But a smile would grow over Isagi's face, and he would come sliding in. And as he slides in, Nagi would immediately pop the ball back up. But Isagi's foot would make contact with the ball while he's still on the ground, pushing the ball toward the ground and bouncing it back up. Isagi would spring back up as Nagi would meet him in the air. Of course, this would leave Chiguri open, but Isagi's relying on his reactions to actually block a pass if he so chooses to do so. Nagi would then try to pass, but he would begin thinking about it, and his body would begin thinking about it. So the pass would be intercepted by Isagi. Isagi would take it, dribbling through all of them and scoring his first goal of this match, making it 3-0. And Isagi would smile toward Nagi, and Nagi would be amped up even more. What was he able to do? He can do it again. And Isagi would look toward Bachira, and Bachira would quietly ask what was he able to do exactly. And Isagi explains that Nagi is able to actually utilize some sort of Ultra Instinct. Yes, it's not anywhere near complete, but in terms of soccer or in terms of football, in this regard, he's able to actually utilize it in dribbling. He's not sure about, scoring, but he obviously can't use it in terms of passing. He's just still thinking about it. But in terms of dribbling, and also recovering the ball, or basically controlling it, it seems that Nagi is now learning and understanding how to utilize his body to do such things without even thinking. And Bachira is pretty shocked by this. He asks if Nagi can, do what he does, what Isagi does. And Isagi shakes his head. Not yet. At least, not yet. He believes that Nagi is a prodigy. And yes, there's a reason why he's amped up so much throughout this time. But Nagi won't be able to use Ultra Instinct the way Isagi does. He won't be able to utilize it in passing, dribbling, controlling, defending, everything. He won't be able to. It's not that he's not, super skilled at it. It's that he doesn't, have a full grasp on it yet. Isagi was in depth in Ultra Instinct and instinctual intelligence throughout a long period of time. Isagi may be a prodigy, but he's not an instant learner. He's not some fast learner that could instantly pick up everything at a glimpse. That's not how that works. But in terms of control and dribbling, it seems as if Nagi has that down packed. And Isagi would just be smiling at this. I mean, this is great. I mean, he's never thought anybody would even be able to do this. Barring someone like Nagi, I mean, this is insane. I mean, Nagi didn't even really enjoy football. Now he's in love with it. And that's what you need to unlock this instinctual intelligence, to unlock true Ultra Instinct. But as much as Nagi is making a difference, it won't matter in the long run. There's too many weak links on their team, and let's just say Reo will need to evolve, and he's not quite there, and not just yet. So when Nagi tries to utilize it one next time, that next time, Isagi would come barreling in, and he would steal the ball from him once again. Nagi would be frustrated. How is he able to do this? He doesn't understand. Isagi would smile as he passes the ball up to Kunigami as he shoots from an insane range, and he would drill it. It's now 4-0. Isagi would then tell Nagi, though, that it's truly amazing what he's done in such a short amount of time. If he gets more time, well, they could be monsters together. I know that Blue Lock is, well, to find the one, that single best striker. But imagine two people with this instinctual love for soccer on the field at the same time, together, striking down the field together. Isagi would smirk at this as he tells this to Nagi, and Nagi tells him that if they're not on the same team, he'll do everything in his power to beat them. He will. And as the next, well, chance that he has is up, let's just say it still doesn't go very well for him. Isagi would guard Nagi once again, switching with Kunigami, and Nagi would continue to dribble. But at the same time, it's as if it's just a chess match now. It's really whoever has the most experience. But at the same time, Nagi and his body would realize something. He's bigger, far bigger than Isagi. He would begin to use that body, his strength, and frankly, his will to win, and he would be able to get by Isagi. Oh my god. Isagi would turn. This guy, he really is a monster. He goes charging back toward Nagi, trying to make up for the difference, trying to stop him. And Nagi would more or less wind up to shoot. And he would shoot, but it would be blocked. Isagi would smile. Not quite. He would kick the ball toward Kunigami, as Kunigami would do a quick pass to Bachira, as Bachira makes a move on Chiguri, and he scores the final goal, beating Nagi's team 5-0. Nagi's confused. How did you block it? Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. And Isagi would explain that Nagi, in terms of ball control and dribbling, it seems as if his body was moving on its own. But he still was thinking when he was striking at the goal. Still was thinking when he was shooting for his goal. That's one thing that he'll have to work on and continue to work on. Everything. Dribbling and control is great, but if he doesn't master every aspect of Ultra Instinct, let's just say he won't be fully better than Isagi. And at the end of the day, he won't be able to beat him. Isagi apologizes and says that he still has time though. If anybody can pass him in the usage of Ultra Instinct, it's him. I mean, it might still take a while. Yes, he's a prodigy. Yes, he's maybe one of a kind. But he'll still need to truly understand and love soccer to such an extent that his body would then move on its own. And then there are even more levels beyond just that. Nagi would then smile, and he would nod. He says that next time they're against each other, he'll make sure to beat him. And Isagi nods his head and says he knows he will. He knows eventually Nagi will catch up. But a choice needs to be made now. Isagi has to make a choice. Chiguri, Ryo, or Nagi. And as sad as it is, this answer is pretty simple. Isagi says that he wants to pick Nagi. And he tells the other two that they can overrule him if they would like. And they can choose whoever they want. But Kunigami and Bachira say that Isagi has gotten them to this dance. So they'll back what he says. As much as they would want Chiguri back on their team, they understand. And Kunigami brings up the fact that if this guy can truly, well, match up with Isagi in the future and become someone else who has Ultra Instinct, there is no stopping them. It wouldn't even be close. And there may not be any way to stop them even now. So, the team of 4 is Isagi, Kunigami, Bachira, and Nagi. A Nagi that is different. Far different than anyone would even expect. So, the 4 of them would walk through those doors, ready to take on whatever's to come. And when they do, they would begin just waiting. And then looking around, and they would see a team. One last team that they need to take on. And gladly enough, it's Rin's team. It's Rin, it's Junpei, it's Tokumitsu, and it's a surprising one actually. It's Raichi. This is insane. Isagi would run up to him. No way, you're already here. Oh, your team must have lost, huh, to Rin's team? And Raichi would kind of shrug it off, saying that, yeah, it did happen, but they saw something in me, so they added me up, so now we're here. And Raichi would smirk. That means you guys won as well. I think we should take on these guys. And Raichi would be excited at this aspect. He's been pretty high on Isagi. Like, he's been a pretty good, I wouldn't call him role model, but a pretty good kind of teacher in a way. He's given him a purpose, a lockdown defender, actually to the point that even he has aspects of this instinctual intelligence, but just a little differently. And Isagi would be excited to take them on. When they would enter the field, they would get the ball first, and Isagi would immediately pass it to Nagi. As he goes to cut away and leave and, look for a pass and look for an opening, he would actually be stopped by Raichi. Raichi would stand right in front of him. And Isagi would move a certain way, and he would stay in front of him. Every time he moved, dip, dodge, whatever, he would be in front of him. And he would look at Raichi. No way. This is insane. A smile would grow over Isagi's face. He thinks it's time for him to level up. And it's gonna be a difficult one. He continues to try and lose Raichi to the best of his ability, and also guide the match to his best of his ability as well. But the fact that he has someone that seems to have some sort of defense version and has his version of a defensive Ultra Instinct, being that, of course, he has that as well. But obviously, Raichi doesn't have it in terms of dribbling and scoring and stuff like that. It's just defense. So when he tries to cut past him and tries to move around him, it seems like he's reacting to everything he sees almost instantaneously. But eventually, Isagi would get his opening. And when he would get his opening, he would feel this shadow right behind him. It's Rin. Who is this guy? He's awesome too. Isagi would sense him though, and he would immediately tap the ball in between his legs. Rin would be shocked. He covered distance. He knew exactly where he was going to be, but he still made a play around him. As he taps the ball through his legs, there's one person right there waiting. Nagi. Nagi knew exactly what was going to happen, at least to an extent, and kicks the ball for their first goal. Rin would just stare at Isagi as they're walking back to the middle of the field. Rin would be pissed. How is this guy doing this? He's one-upping him. He's beating him? No. He's not beating him. He'll show him. He'll do it. He'll even the score. 1-0 at the moment. Rin would immediately take a shot from basically the very start, from the inbound more or less, and he would shooting the goal during kickoff, but just as he does, someone is in the air. Whoa, it's Isagi, ready for the inbound kick or the kickoff goal, and he headers it toward Nagi. Rin's shocked. How did he react to that? Does he know the field like me? Does he understand the field like me? Not necessarily. But Isagi not only has instincts in terms of his body moving on its own, but his mind can tell that Rin has a certain type of ego. This ego that's forcing him to do certain things, and do certain things like that. He may be good, but Isagi is just that much better. Nagi would quickly go through the entirety of the defense and score once again. And his ultra instinct for dribbling and control, and soon his passing, would slowly but surely be developing more and more. There are still flaws in his control and dribbling. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfected. So this is like his way of trying to reach perfection. But up 2-0, it seems as if it's already going their way. Raichi would be frustrated. I mean, he's not striking, he's defending, and frankly, he's doing a really good job. He's defending Isagi at an insane pace, and on top of that, he's kind of locking him down. He's not allowing Isagi to score at all, and he'll continue to do that. But Isagi will have to find creative ways to get around people and more or less do anything he possibly can. But eventually, the holes in their own defense will show, and that's all involved because of Rin. Rin would pass it down to Junpei as he outjumps everybody, but at the same time, Kunigami is able to more or less match him. But that's where the issue kind of lies. If Kunigami is on Junpei, well, Tokumitsu has Bachira, and Bachira is far weaker than Tokumitsu. So when that is exposed, it leads to a Tokumitsu goal, leading to a 2-1 in favor of Isagi's team still. But even with this said and done, Bachira would eventually get his get back, and he would just be completely unpredictable with his dribbles and everything. You could see cutting by the defense, cutting through, and Isagi would just smile as he watches Bachira just enjoy himself. Yes, he's just enjoying himself. Bachira may not have ultra instinct like the degree they do, and the former monster he had within him may be the reason for that, and just have those, and he has those limiters on himself. But at the same time, does he even need it? I mean, look at him go. He's insane. He might actually basically have a perfected, dribbling ultra instinct. You never know. That's what it feels like, at least. But it's different somehow. It's far different. With ultra instinct, you want to avoid having an ego, at least to an extent. But it's as if Bachira has an ego. He has this underlying ego within him that's allowing him to dribble and have even more fun than you could imagine. He would score, and their lead would increase 3-1. But that lead, all it would do is expand. Raichi would try his best to defend, but he can't defend everybody. And eventually, Isagi would get loose. With some creative playstyle, he would be able to get switched on to Rin, and Isagi's matchup is just too easy for him. In defending everybody else, he begins to pick up on little things. The height difference and the jump difference with Junpei would slowly but surely fade away, and the muscle of Tokumitsu would slowly but surely not matter much, and Isagi would be taking over the game. he would eventually score his own goal directly on Rin, easily getting by him, and Rin would be freaking out, unsure of even himself, not knowing what's happening. How is he able to do these things? How? It just doesn't make any sense. How is he able to do all the things he's doing? It's as if his body is just moving on its own. Jesus Christ. His body is moving on its own. Isagi would smile toward Rin. It's 4-1. And Isagi, still being the nice person he always is, he knows how talented Rin is. He knows how good he truly is. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he had to go up against this team. This team is a well-oiled machine. It's not something that would have been defeated easily. Isagi would soon get the final goal, and they would win 5-1 against Rin's team. Yes, 5-1. And there's a choice that needs to be made. A big choice. Does Isagi choose Rin? Someone that could see the field beautifully and maybe even grow alongside, well, someone with mastered Ultra Instinct and someone that is progressing in the instinctual intelligence of football? Or does he pick Raichi, someone who has this defensive, imperfected Ultra Instinct that even almost shut down Isagi to a certain extent? This is a hard choice. Isagi's not sure. He's scratching his head. What do you guys think? He asked Nagi and Bachira and Kunigami. And they look toward Rin. They point at him, saying that that is Sai Itoshi's little brother. And Isagi would look back at them. Whoa, really? Who's that? Everybody would slap their heads. You really don't know who Sai Itoshi is? Should I? And Nagi would say the same thing, saying he doesn't know either. And that wouldn't be that surprising, to be fair, but Isagi, it's very surprising. Isagi says he loves football, loves it. He's obsessed with it. But I mean, he's obsessed with playing it. I mean, he never even really watches that much TV. Kind of, doesn't it like rot the brain? And everybody's just standing there in complete shock. What do you mean it rots the... Never mind. They would explain that Rin has a special talent. And Isagi waves him off. Yeah, I mean, he knows that. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And they say that he would be insanely good for their team, especially for whatever's to come. And those are massive question marks. They have no idea what's truly coming. And Isagi would think about this. Maybe you're right. And maybe he could even get better with us as a team. And Rin would say that he doesn't need them to get better. To just don't even choose him. That he'll find his way back. He could easily find his way back. And Rin would just be pissed. But Isagi would look at him. Just for that, Rin. Mr. Rin. I'm gonna choose you. Everyone begins to laugh because they know that Isagi's doing it on purpose, but he also would walk over toward Rin, saying that them two, they're very different. Rin sees the field far differently than Isagi does. He just does. And that this will be the benefit for all of them. He says that if he wants to beat other people, these other football players that are soon to come, if he wants to beat Sai Itoshi, then he might want to play a little bit nice, at least for now. Because sometimes you have to devour others to truly get better. And he would be shocked to hear this from Isagi. I mean, that sounds so egotistical, right? And Isagi would shrug it off. Not really. And he would just walk away. And Rin would follow up and just follow them. And now their team is built up of Rin, Isagi, Bachira, Nagi, and Kunigami. An all-star team. But how much would that all-star team really do when, well, he's taking on something a little bit different? And that little bit different, well, is the World 5. Yes, this is the next stop, the World 5. And this would be something that Rin is interested in heavily, even walking up to them saying that he more or less doesn't like the idea, that they're thinking that this is some sightseeing trip, that they're not taking it seriously. And Isagi would hear this and begin to walk over. He would listen to them and they would all ask what he's even doing, but he wouldn't even respond, as eventually they would respond to, well, Rin. And they would tell Rin that they're just here because they got a large sum of money. They don't really care about being here at all. I mean, come on now. And one of them even says that he's really just here for the sightseeing trips and some Japanese women. That's about it. And Isagi would hear this and his smile would drop. It would be gone. No longer there. And he would look at them. And Rin would say something very similar to something that, well, Isagi wanted to say. He says that this sightseeing trip may become traumatic and is going to become traumatic. And Isagi looks at them and says that if they're really here just for a chunk of change, not for the love of soccer, and not to enjoy their match, well, then he's going to make all of them suffer. And they're completely shocked. They're not taking him seriously initially, but then they look at him and it's as if they can feel this aura around him. And Isagi would turn around and walk away. It's as if they just unleashed a monster within Isagi. Isagi would be dead-faced, serious. Rin would catch up and would look at him oddly. What is wrong with this kid? He was so go-lucky, happy, and all that 2 seconds ago. And Bachira would look over and he would see Isagi and ask Rin, what the hell did they say? And Rin explains, and Bachira stops him about 25% through explaining. And Bachira says that this match might be a little bit closer than you possibly would imagine. Rin, still under the belief that they're gonna win, he says good. If it makes the kid better, then that's all that matters. And Bachira says that it's, well, more than just that, but you'll see pretty soon. And Bachira, when the match would start, would get a pass from Isagi just immediately off. Bachira would look at him and Isagi would stare at him, but then Isagi would nod his head toward, as if telling him to go forward. And that's what he would do. Bachira would show off his dribbling skills just like he did normally, and he would get the first goal. And it would be amazing. But then it would all crumble. Or at least, that's what the World 5 thought would happen. When one of the World 5 would come barreling forward at insane speeds, let's just say he's super dynamic, well, yeah, they thought they would make it easily by everybody. And this man is named Adam Blake. Someone that Isagi is not too fond over at this moment. He would go barreling forward and easily get by a couple of them. Get by Nagi, get by Rin. But just as he's walking up to Isagi, it's as if everything around him goes black. There are no pathways out of here. Isagi would steal the ball and everybody, well, behind him would be kind of shocked. How the hell did that kid do that? They were just messing around and... what? How did he steals the ball and quickly he would begin to just cut through their defense entirely. They're too stunned to even react really. But eventually Silva would come barreling through, this big Brazilian. But even he can't stop him. He tries to foul him, but Isagi would move in a certain way that he's so slippery that he gets by. He shoots the goal, and it's another score. They're up 2-0, and it's a game to 5. And, well, the World 5 would realize something. That kid, he's something serious. That maybe they should amp it up a little bit. And that amp it up. The amp up would immediately happen with the France representative. He would go blitzing through at insane speeds, faster than really anyone could react to. But Isagi would be right there, reacting to it. It's insane that he's even able to keep up, but once the World 5 starts to coordinate, it doesn't matter anymore. Isagi, he did his thing, but they had a realization that if they play one-on-one ball, I mean, this kid might become a problem, and he's not even, well, at his peak yet. But eventually, goals would come, and even with a struggle of Isagi more or less scoring one more goal, it would still end 5-3. But one person's watching, ego, and all he can think about is the idea that Isagi is on the level, or maybe on the level of these World 5, the World 5 players. But of course, that's not exactly how you could scale it. It's hard to scale it. This is a 5-on-5. They're, let's be honest, not coordinated with each other. They're just all individually talented. So what happens when you get people out there that are extremely good, but they are coordinated? It might be a different story, especially with someone trying to go 1 versus 5. It's basically impossible, just like how you've seen here. But still, impressive is an understatement, and Isagi has shown and proven his worth. Rin, on the other hand, is at a loss for words. He doesn't know what to do, especially after they all started coordinating. It literally felt useless. Rin couldn't do a single thing, and when they all leave and are all wrapped up, and it's all wrapped up, the World 5 compliments Isagi, but then they would take their leave as well, because at the end of the day, they were there to get paid. And frankly, it seems as if they brought something out of Isagi that they weren't expecting at that moment. But still, the team or Isagi's team would leave and be prepared and get ready for whatever's to come next. And they would eventually learn what's to come. And what's to come is something truly amazing. What's to come is something that Isagi is looking forward to. A match between the Japan's U20 team. Now that is something Isagi can really get behind. He tells Nagi that if he wants to evolve, well, this would be the way to do it. This is where all of them evolve. Isagi says this is where Nagi turns on and more or less transfers into the domain of Ultra Instinct. This is where Bachira levels up his dribbling to something beyond anybody's comprehension. And this is where Rin can prove himself. Kunigami would step in. Hey, you're forgetting about me. And Isagi would laugh and chuckle, saying that of course he didn't forget about him. This is where Kunigami becomes a superhero. The superhero of football. Everybody would be locked in, and they would watch as everyone else who has passed the second selection walk in as well. They're excited for the U20 match, and they all heard what's going on. They all know what's to come. Now, what's to come for Isagi in the future? Well, that's for another story and another time. And that time, well, may never come. But at the same time, I hope y'all enjoyed the series. And I hope y'all enjoyed everything in the series. I'm sorry that I won't go into the U20 match. I might in the future. You never know. I might do a little special. Maybe we'll if I get there in the manga or something, maybe we'll do a little special for every single one I didn't do the U20 match. Maybe it'll be called What If Isagi Had Ultra Instinct in the U20 match, and we'll do that. But other than that, I mean, I hope y'all enjoyed. And if you did, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. I mean, it helps the channel, helps me grow. I've been growing like crazy ever since I started doing Blue Lock content, at least Blue Lock What Ifs. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all of the love and support, and I appreciate all y'all sticking around. And that's it. That's all I got to say. Hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.